Hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing Conversations. This is a new thing that I am starting on my YouTube channel. As I am mentoring other trainers and coaches, I am getting to learn a lot personally about the different modalities that we used to heal somebody for therapy, for counseling. As I personally, I have studied life coaching, and there are other cognitive tools that I like to use. But recently, I came across yoga counseling, yoga psychology, which really tickled my mind, and I wanted to know more about it because this is dealing with the root cause of the problem and not just on the surface symptoms. So here I have the expert in that field, Shweta. She is a yoga psychologist and she has also studied life coaching. She practices NLP, mindfulness, and she uses all these tools to help people develop a healthy sense of self. That means healthy self esteem, which is very much required to live a very good, peaceful, and a purposeful life. So, welcome, Shweta. Please introduce yourself to our viewers and please let me know that how did you develop this interest of yoga psychology.
Thank you so much, Rutuja, first of all, for having me here. Uh, Well, I was in corporate initially, and somehow I got into yoga because of the life incidents that took place. So I started with yoga therapy, and I used to give sessions, especially related to mental health issues. Then I was introduced to yoga psychology course by one of my friends. So she has already done it, and I saw a lot of changes in her as well. So I took it as a for my personal views, like for personal development. But then there was level two, level three, where I can learn more about others' behavior. And in level three, it was more about taking counseling for others. So this is how my life journey started with yoga and yoga psychology, and now I'm really liking it. To talk about yoga psychology, it's a holistic way of counseling, whether it is physical illness or mental illness. We will go to the root cause of the problem. So
Okay.
holistic is all about going to the root cause. It's about body, mind, and spirit. So whenever a person comes with any problem, they will only know the problem, and that is not actually the problem. Those are the symptoms. So with yoga psychology, we will get to know the root cause of the problem.
Okay, so Shweta, could you please give me an example where you said that people come with a symptom, calling it a problem, whereas you find out the underlying root cause is something different. So if we can get an example, it would be clear for our viewers.
I'll give you one example. So I had a client 2 weeks back. She came with a complaint that she had undergone a surgery. There was a lump near the neck area, and she would always get pain around the neck area. Even if it's cervical, everything is around neck and shoulder. So her complaint is, she started procrastinating. It's been like 6, 7 months after surgery. After that surgery, started, procrastinating very lately about herself to take care of herself. And she felt that she's in depression.
Okay.
So this was her problem, like laziness, procrastination, and depression. But while questioning, we got to know she had a childhood trauma. She didn't have a good relationship with her father. Her father was always comparing with others. He's not happy with whatever she achieves. Even if she gets 95 marks, her father is like, you should have got 90. Like, never appreciating. So her problem is all about not being valued. She was looking for that external validation. So without the external validation, she had problems of self-confidence, self-esteem. So to say she is a lawyer, when you say lawyer, you will be like, oh, lawyer is like a very confident person.
Yeah.
But she herself didn't know she had confidence issues. And she herself mentioned later, I don't have a self-esteem. I know I don't have self-esteem, but I create a facade that I'm very confident because that is very much required in my field. So
Yes.
this was the problem. So the if you talk in terms of yoga psychology, it comes under Vishuddhi chakra, the throat chakra. So that's why she was having a lot of problems in and around the neck and shoulder.
Okay, so if I'm understanding it correctly, we find out what the symptom is, what the client is facing, and then it is associated with either of the seven chakras. So no matter which problem, it will always fall under one of the seven categories. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, yes,
Yes, so the process becomes so easy, right? So you find an imbalance in either one of the seven, and then you just focus on balancing that one. Because I think when it comes to problems with people, there are so many, like the issues are many, and if we could just categorize it into seven different solutions, it is really easy for a person to, easy and clear to go in which direction.
yes, yes. So, in terms of chakra, it's not only related to emotions, even the body parts. Like if you say, if you take, for example, the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, your lower extremities, then both the legs, and related to your excretory organs, or your urinary, everything comes under that chakra. So whether it is physical illness or emotions, so when you talk in terms of emotions, survival, security, that falls under root chakra. So if anybody says I have trust issues, I'm always fearful, then we can understand, okay, something related to root chakra. And we will ask questions in certain way. Where do you feel the sensations when you have this trust issues? So he might say, something related to legs or maybe excretory organs. So then we will probe questions accordingly. So it's very helpful for us to go through the whole process and understand the impacts.
Okay, so just to understand this better, I did understand that the root chakra is related to survival, right? So how will the imbalance of, let's take example of one chakra, that is the root chakra. So in how many ways or in what ways can the imbalance of root chakra play out? Like in what would be the behavior that the person will showcase if that is imbalanced?
That's again tricky. It's say for example, we might think, okay, it's related to the root chakra, but that will not be necessarily related to root chakra. His heart chakra might be imbalanced, but the heart chakra is taking the energy from root chakra. So heart chakra is fulfilled. Now the root chakra goes imbalanced.
Okay,
So we have to probe more and more. So once he says root chakra, then we will explore more about root chakra, then we will understand more. Then again we will understand, okay, he's using certain terms about love, compassion, or he's not loved by others. Then we will understand it's not the root chakra. If there is some other chakra, but the other chakra is taking the energy from root chakra to fulfill its hunger. So
okay.
it's very interesting, again tricky.
Yeah, very interesting. Again, tricky, and that's why it is getting me more curious. So, for example, let's take a classic case, somebody having the problem of emotional eating. You know, lot of people find comfort in eating food when they feel emotional, or when they are feeling emotional insecurity, they will again jump onto eating a lot of food. So, as far as I understand, food, digestion, all this is somewhere linked to the root chakra. Correct me if I'm wrong. And emotions are again towards the heart center. So how will you look at it as a yoga psychologist?
Digestion, everything falls under usually Swadhisthana chakra.
Okay, okay,
If not, maybe a little bit of your solar plexus. So
okay,
it's either of both solar plexus and the Swadhisthana chakra.
okay, okay,
Okay, but again, why he is he eating? So what is the problem that he's going through?
okay,
So why he eats? Because that makes him feel comfortable. So when you talk in terms of Swadhisthana chakra, the emotion, it specifies comfort, pleasure. So there might be something that's getting triggered, and that puts him in a situation of uncomfortable. It's not feeling comfortable.
exactly.
So the mechanism, defense mechanism, he or she, what she call her, eating. So whenever she or he eats, overeats, or whatever she or he indulges in chocolates or any junks, she or he feels very comfortable. So his Swadhisthana chakra gets imbalanced. But what is the reason behind that trigger? What is the emotion that's getting triggered? That we need to find out. It can be any other chakra.
Okay, so from the word comfort, you could map it to Swadhisthana. That is very, very clever,
Yes.
actually. That you, from just one word, even in life coaching, we have to pay a lot of attention to the words. Where I can understand as a life coach that when that person is using the word comfort, That means I can get, okay, this person is not ready to get out of the comfort zone. Defense mechanism kicks in very quickly. So if such kind of cases come to you where a person is not ready to step out of their comfort zone, how would you like, how will the counseling session look like? What is the first thing that you would do with the person, like the entry point?
First thing is again finding out what is the root cause that puts him in such a comfort zone that he doesn't want to come out. Even if it's very bad to his mental health or physical health. So we need to find out the root cause. First of all, it can be very traumatic also, but we need to find out. And then it's his or her responsibility to follow whatever we say. Like it can be anything. Healing method can be anything. It can be eating well, sleeping well, affirmations, the practicing of yoga, asanas, pranayama, certain meditations, or anything related to mindfulness. That responsibility, accountability has to be taken by that person. We can only guide, we can only get to know the root cause why he is in such a comfort zone that is doesn't want to come out of.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And finding out the root cause is a very important step. I think that brings a lot of self awareness. And we roam around in the world thinking that we know a lot about ourselves. But when I am on this journey of learning and exploration, there is still so much more to know about ourselves. So I would also like to take this moment to help people understand when is coaching or counseling such tools would be very useful in your life, where somebody else, external, can step in to bring self awareness to the issues that you might have been avoiding for so many reasons. Like you told me the reasons, you are expert in certain fields, so you know the reasons. So what happens is, there is this black and white part. White, we can say that you're completely healthy physically, mentally, emotionally. And the black or the darkest part, we can say that you have some chronic trouble with your mental health or physical health. But there is always this gray area, and majority of us lie in that gray area, where you start feeling like, when some corrections are made in your lifestyle, in your diet, in your thought pattern, you can go back to the healthier part of the spectrum. But when you start avoiding it and not deal with it, you start moving towards the darker part of the spectrum. And there a counselor helps you. What actions could you change so that you start moving ahead in the right direction? And that is how counseling by any modality would help you. What are your thoughts about this, Shweta, like going to counselors and coaches in general?
So you said it very right. Like the gray area, when it comes to yoga psychology, we talk in terms of stress. So there are four stages of stress. The first step, the stress, is very much important. You have the stress hormone called cortisol. So it's inbuilt. So we cannot get rid of stress completely. It is like a motivator to do anything. And the second stage, you can manage, but you will not even realize there is certain issues or stress. Third stage, you realize it's affecting your life, but you can manage, still manage with it. You'll be like, okay, let me see when it is too much, then I can work on it. So you keep avoiding, and then when the last stage, fourth stage, that's when everything gets disrupted. It affects your mental health, physical health, your career, finance, your relationship, maybe relationship with your spouse. Everything gets disrupted. Now you don't know from where to start
Exactly.
because you are in the such a loop. Every field of your area of your life gets disrupted. And now you don't know whether I should take care of my relationship with family, my wife, my kids, or is it your career, finance. Now we're like lost. That's when we counselors, even the life coach, we come into picture.
Exactly. And taking help in that particular moment can help a person a lot. And what we usually do is we shy away from taking that help, or we have these notions that, going to counseling or therapy or external help for mental health means somebody will give you a medication. Nobody other than a psychiatrist is actually eligible or qualified to give you any kind of medications. And we help to the people who are at a certain stage. By making lifestyle and thought pattern changes, you can actually go back to your healthier states, and that's the area where we work in. So, Shweta, I would
Yes.
like to understand when you said that you suggest them some yogasanas or affirmations, or you give them these tools, or you give them pranayam. So, is it required to have certain knowledge of yoga before you come for yoga psychology, or who is this for? Any particular target group?
Oh, sorry, I didn't get. Are you talking in terms of the students or the counselors?
I'm talking about counselees. Like you said, you would be suggesting some things, right? So, is it for everybody, or is it for the people who already know a little bit about yoga? So, how is it?
Uh, See, even in terms of yoga, we can give very basic asana, very basic exercises.
Yes.
It can be simple walking. You can start with walking. If there are people who are knowledgeable, but they haven't done any exercise, then we start giving them. We'll ask them to go for a simple walk, maybe 30 to 40 minutes of walking
Ye-
in the park or anything related to nature. And we will give simple lifestyle changes in terms of food habits, timing also, like what time you eat, what do you eat. Food plays a lot of role in terms of mental health and again physical health also. So you
ye-
can suggest them to change your diet, more of sattvic food and good sleep, then affirmations. So if people think they don't have time for physical exercise asanas, then we will start with anything that they are very much interested.
Okay, so this is a complete customization, and this is kept in mind that how much time the person has, what things they are, they can realistically do, accomplish. So all those things come into picture. That means anybody can come and opt for
Yes.
yoga psychology, like come for your counseling sessions. This is really great. And the last thing that I wanted to ask you is that once people have this attitude when they come to coaching or counseling, they think that once I go to this person, the issue will be sorted. Or, they just think that somebody else should do this thing for me. So, what is your one advice for these people, or people who are not somewhere, ready to take accountability? Which chakra is imbalanced here, and how will you help them out?
In that case, I would again say it's Swadhisthana because you don't want to come out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, solar plexus, Manipur chakra, uh, like they want someone else, help them. So usually, this is the usual case that I get. They come thinking, okay, whatever you say, I will do it. But
Okay.
do it and then they can blame the other person. You told me to do this, but this is not working. So this is more
Right.
of Manipur chakra. It's mix of Swadhisthana and Manipur. So like they don't want to take accountability and responsibility, but they'll ask you to tell, what should I do? And
Okay.
when it doesn't work, they will blame you.
Okay.
It's like that.
So these two, I think, very interrelated things. And what does the after picture look like once you have the balanced Swadhisthana or balanced solar plexus? How does that look, and how does that play in your life?
They'll be more responsible towards their own actions, their
Yeah.
own life, and they'll come out of the comfort zone. And if they want to do something, like, for example, I had a case previous. Uh, she's very much comfortable in her work, but she's not happy. So for that, she has to take that action. So to come out of the comfort zone, come out of the Swadhisthana chakra, imbalance Swadhisthana chakra, you have to take action. Action is more about Manipur chakra. That's
Yes.
both are interrelated. So
Yes.
that's why whenever whoever comes to me, we don't force them. So we see what kind of personality he or she is, which chakra is imbalanced, predominant. And then we will ask them, what is that you would like to do a lot? If they like to read, then we will suggest something related to reading. Okay, you read this, start with something. So
Ex-
once you start with something, then slowly, slowly we will give them asanas, pranayamas,
Yes.
affirmation.
And I think this is an excellent and a very simple way of chakra healing and balancing your energy, because these things like chakra healing and all, they are very complicated things. And if people randomly go and do, there are so many things available on YouTube where people tell you how to activate this chakra and that chakra, and if you blindly do certain things, it is going to cause a lot of trouble. But these are such safe things, the lifestyle changes that we are telling. So it brings a lot of awareness. It is very safe, and it is going to show you remarkable results by just performing simple actions. But I think the keyword here is to take action. And any parting
Yes,
thoughts, Shweta, for our viewers you have?
I didn't get it. I couldn't hear the question.
Any parting thoughts, like final thoughts before we end this session?
Again, I would say whoever comes to maybe like coaching or counselor, first and foremost, they should know it's not the responsibility of the counselor or the coach to make change in their lives. We
Exactly.
will be only guiding them or maybe trying to find out the root cause. We will suggest them what to do, but the responsibility, accountability has to be taken by them and they have to follow this religious.
Yes, this is very, very
That's when you can see the changes.
exactly. This is very important. And the main thing that I learned from our conversation was that introspection, or as you said, that finding out the root cause, bringing that awareness to the problem is the key thing which will help you heal this, which will help you balance this. And once you balance this, the world is going to turn 180-degree from being irresponsible to being responsible, from being very dull and not willing to do things in life to being very creative. It is literally going to the opposite direction, with understanding just one root cause. And this is very powerful. And I will say that it takes a long time and many conversations to reach to this point, coming from a point of intellectual conversations. But I think this technique of understanding chakras, combining it with psychology, it's amazing. It's very interesting. Thank you so much, Shweta, for coming here. Stay tuned, guys, and subscribe to the channel for knowing more episodes of Healing Conversations. Bye bye.